The first time Captain Jace Arden saw Princess Kylera of the Dominion Worlds, she was laughing. Not kindly, not the kind of laugh that made someone want to join in, but a sharp, musical sound that sliced through the marble hall like glass. It was directed at him. "So, this is the famous Earth soldier they sent," she said, eyes gleaming with cold amusement. "I was expecting someone taller. Or at least, alien." The courtiers chuckled. Jace didn't respond. He'd been warned. The princess was brilliant, beautiful, and entirely untouchable. Her bloodline was the last of the old royal houses, her value both political and symbolic. And yet, rumors said her life was constantly in danger from assassins, from rival claimants, and from her own people. Jace bowed slightly, his dark escort uniform gleaming with the insignia of the Interplanetary Peace Corps. He said simply. The single word carried no offense, no pride, only calm professionalism. Kylera tilted her head. "You don't talk much, do you?" "I wasn't hired to talk." That earned a murmur from the court. She studied him, the scar across his cheek, the steadiness in his eyes. Then she waved him away. "Fine. Stand behind me and try not to embarrass yourself, Earthborn." And thus began the longest assignment of Jace's life. The journey to Tareth Prime. They traveled aboard the royal cruiser Aurelian, a vessel so polished it looked carved from starlight. Kylera sat upon her throne in the observation chamber, gazing at the nebulae through shimmering glass. Jace stood silently at her right, hands clasped behind his back. For 3 days, she ignored him until she couldn't anymore. "You've been standing there without moving," she said finally. "Do humans not get tired?" Jace looked at her. "We adapt." She smirked. "Adapt? That's what your kind does, isn't it? You adapt to everything. To losing your wars. To being conquered. To serving as guards for people like me." The insult hit, but Jace's eyes remained unreadable. "If adaptation means survival, princess, then yes. We're very good at it." Something flickered in her gaze, surprise, maybe even a spark of respect. But she quickly looked away. Later that night, the ship shuddered. Jace was the first to react, drawing his sidearm as the lights dimmed. An explosion echoed through the left wing. Alarms blared. "Pirates!" Kylera hissed, rising from her seat. "Not pirates," Jace said, glancing at the sensors. "Assassins. Masked heat signatures in the air ducts. 12 of them." Her eyes widened. "You're certain?" He met her gaze. "Completely." Kylera summoned her guards, but before they could react, the sound of plasma fire erupted in the corridor. One by one, the royal soldiers fell. Kylera's confident mask cracked for the first time, fear glimmered behind her regal poise. Jace holstered his weapon. "Stay behind me," she almost argued. But something in his tone, a steel forged in old battlefields, stopped her. The 12 shadows. They came like wraiths, clad in reflective armor that bent the light around them. Each assassin carried dual plasma blades, silent, deadly, glowing like veins of molten light. They moved with the grace of ghosts. Kylera's breath caught. "They're Dominion shades, my father's elite executioners." "Who sent them?" "Doesn't matter," Jace said softly, eyes narrowing. He didn't raise his gun again. Instead, he unstrapped something from his wrist, a small metallic sphere. He pressed it once, and it emitted a barely audible hum. The lights flickered out. Darkness swallowed the chamber. Kylera gasped, she could see nothing. But she heard everything, the soft shuffle of movement, the clang of metal against armor, the hiss of energy blades. And beneath it all, silence. Controlled, calculated silence. Then came the sounds, one after another. Thud. A strangled gasp. A hiss of a blade cutting through air, followed by another impact. Kylera gripped the edge of the throne. Her eyes adjusted slightly to the dark, just enough to catch glimpses, flashes of movement. Jace moved like a ghost himself, a phantom among killers. He struck not with rage, but with precision, disabling, redirecting, breaking. His body flowed like water, his strikes measured and merciless. One assassin lunged at him from behind. Jace spun, using the man's own momentum to slam his head into the wall. The helmet cracked. Another came from the left. Jace's blade flashed, severing a power line that surged into the attacker's chest. Kylera could hardly breathe. In less than 2 minutes, 11 shadows lay unconscious or dead on the floor. The 12th approached silently behind her, blade raised. She froze. But before it could strike, Jace was there, his hand snapping around the assassin's wrist. A single motion, a twist, the weapon fell, the assassin dropped. It was over. Jace exhaled slowly, blood dripping from a shallow cut across his arm. Kylera stared at him, trembling. You killed Dominion Shades." He didn't answer. He just turned and pressed the security panel to seal the doors. "I told you to stay behind me." Aftermath, the truth behind the laughter. Hours later, the ship floated in silent orbit. Engineers repaired the damage while Kylera sat beside Jace in the medbay. She was silent for once, her usual arrogance replaced by quiet curiosity. "You didn't even hesitate," she said. "How? No human should be able to fight like that." Jace shrugged slightly, flexing his bandaged arm. "Humans don't have much. So we make the most of what we do have. You risked your life for me. That's my job." "No," she said sharply. "You didn't have to win. You could have held them off until my reinforcements came. You fought like it mattered." Jace looked at her finally, and his voice softened. "Because it did." The silence stretched. Kylera's gaze dropped to the floor. "They sent them because of me," she whispered. "My own counsel. They think I'm weak, a relic of a royal bloodline that doesn't deserve to rule." Jace stood, slowly. "Then you prove them wrong." She looked up. "How?" He smirked faintly. "Same way humans always do. You survive." That earned the first real smile she'd ever given him. The return to Dominion Prime. When they landed on Dominion Prime, the entire capital waited. The attack had become public, and the fact that the princess had survived when 12 shadows had not was nothing short of miraculous. As they exited the ship, reporters and guards flooded the platform. Kylera held her head high, regal and composed. But her eyes flicked toward Jace, the man who stood behind her like an unshakable shadow. A general approached, sneering. "Your escort should be punished for the loss of the royal guards, princess." Kylera's voice cut through the air like fire. "Those guards are dead because someone among you hired assassins. This man saved my life." The crowd went silent. The general's face paled. Jace said nothing, he simply stood with that quiet strength that had come to define him. Later, in the royal chamber, Kylera dismissed everyone except Jace. "You never once boasted," she said softly. "Even now." "Why?" He met her gaze. "A soldier doesn't need to brag when the truth speaks for itself." Kylera stepped closer. "When I first saw you, I thought you were beneath me, a curiosity from a primitive world. But you've done more for me in one day than any Dominion warrior ever has." Jace didn't respond. He wasn't sure what to say. Then she did something no one expected, she bowed slightly. "Captain Arden," she said quietly, "you have my respect."